this is the main screen timeline.
Yeah.
So about 10,000 years ago, there were three different societies. These people just disappeared from the world. One was in Europe called Atlantis, this thing on the left. Then another one called Lemuria in Hawaii, and the third was Saraswat in India. They just disappeared. Then around 7,000 years ago, there were a lot of Indians, or mainly sort of dark-skinned Indians, because originally people came from Africa. But some people moved to Europe and they were little white-skinned people. Some moved to China, they were little like Chinese. These people who came they were called Aryans, and they drove the dark-skinned people south. They were Aryans. They were called Aryans, but now they've done some research and they find that they were really from Iran. They were Iranians. Some of them got called Aryans. But these people drove, and then the main language at that time was Tamil. Okay? So anyway, so there were, if you go to the next screen, which says 4 founders, there were 4 main people. And they had nothing to do with religion. They were just looking at science. They were looking at the body. They were looking at the universe. They were looking at the trees, at the air, at the stars, and seeing how we can be connected with them. So one was Patanjali. The next was Buddha. The third was Mahavir. And the fourth one was Tirumular. Okay? About 500 years before Jesus was born, Jesus Christ. Then 500 years later, Patanjali survived, Buddha survived, and then whatever was left became a Hindu religion somehow. Then after the birth of Christ, about 1,000 years ago, lots of invaders came from different parts of the north, the Genghis Khan, the Mughals, and somehow Buddhism just disappeared from India. It went to China, it went to Vietnam, it went to Burma. Then the history, all of us know this, probably we were around when the British came. We were around not when they came, but when they left. But when they came, as a result of what they brought, yoga disappeared. They did not encourage yoga, or yoga by itself disappeared. And people started following all the Western things. So yoga and Buddhism is very popular. If you look at the West, in America, in Europe, and in Australia, yoga is very popular. But now it looks like a few people in India are starting to pick up yoga. There are a few people doing some Buddhist work and some meditation work. And when I say yoga, I mean yoga is breathing, yoga is postures, they call it asanas, and yoga is also meditation. So don't be afraid of that word meditation. It has nothing to do with religion. Some people, they do meditation in their religion, but meditation is just a mind thing, keeping your mind calm. So we'll go to the next screen. So these are the people, Patanjali. This is a picture of Patanjali. I think somewhere near the Bombay airport, there's a statue like this. Okay, he did some very good work. He picked up what is called the Yoga Sutras, and there's 8 Astanga Yoga. That is very similar to what Buddha also came up with, and he called it the Eightfold Path. Mahavir did almost the same thing, but his focus was mainly, you see how small his stomach is? His focus was mainly on starvation, on fasting. He did that type of thing, concentrated on that. And this guy's Tirumular, he was basically Tamil Nadu. His practices in Tamil Nadu, but these people occupied India at that time. And when the Aryans came, they went down to the south, and they do Siddha. You see, Siddha medicine. So what is in the north is mainly Sanskrit based, and it is Ayurvedic. And what is in Tamil Nadu is Tamil based and it's called Siddha. It is a very good practice too. They all equally good. They're all good. Not one is any better than the other. But Siddha medicine is more emphasis is on sound, on mantras. And this guy is my favorite. Is the Chinese laughing Buddha. See, if you look at all of these guys, they are very serious. Now, serious is good, but laughing and being happy is also important. So that is one of the things I try to bring across, and people in the West also doing it. And as I mentioned before, I think there was a doctor named Kataria from Bombay. He started a laughter club. I don't think it is very popular anymore. Maybe some few people in Juhu Beach and Bandra practice it. But in America and in the West, there's a lot of laughing. And this guy is the laughing Buddha. So it's important. It's important to be laughing because when you laugh, you see your throat, it moves. And that is very good for the thyroid gland. When you laugh, your stomach moves. Okay, let me just go back. I'm sorry. When your stomach moves, and that is good for digestion. And there's a diaphragm right here between the lungs and the stomach. And when you laugh, the diaphragm moves and it keeps the lungs up and the stomach down. And that is very good. Otherwise, we have a lot of stomach problems because we are tense. Okay. Now I'll go to the next page. In the last year or so, 5 books have been published in America and in the world too. You can get them in India too, I'm sure. One is by a British author named Patrick McEwen. The name of his book is Shut Your Mouth. It was not a rude statement. Shut your mouth is a lot of people breathe through their mouth. They don't realize it. So his book is about shutting your mouth and breathing through your nose. That is the pranayama. This is an American doctor. He spent 5 years doing research, and the name of his book is Breath. This guy, Anders Olsen, he's a Swedish guy, and he talked about conscious breathing. He trained a lot of athletes for Olympics. For the last 20 years, he's been doing it. And most of his athletes, they win Olympic medals. And his main thing that he tells them is don't breathe fast. Don't do very, very, very slow breathing. And by doing, you preserve your oxygen in your body, you keep carbon dioxide too, because you need a balance of those two. So that is this guy. Wim Hof, he is from Dutch, European guy. And the main thing he teaches is to hold your breath. He has walked on the Himalayas bare feet with just one short pant. Bare feet, and he trains people to hold their breath. He can stay in ice water for 6-7 hours just by holding his breath. And the 5th author, she's from Australia. Her name is Ship Sleep Kids who cannot sleep. So what they do is they breathe through their mouth. Now, when you breathe through your mouth, your tongue goes down. As a result, the top of the jaw becomes small because normally our tongue rests on the top of the jaw, on the palate. When it rests on the palate, it puts pressure on the palate and increases the size of the palate. As a result of that, the teeth don't get crowded. So it opens up the nostrils, it opens up the nasal passage. So she talks about the importance of breathing through the nose, all of them. And in all the books, they talk about the Indian method of pranayama. They give credit to what the Indians knew, 6,000-7,000 years ago. So we go to the next screen. Okay. Neuroscience, lots of doctors, lots of researchers are doing these things, research. And there are, on the left, you see physical advantages of doing nose breathing and of pranayama. And pranayama it is essentially breath, but it is prana. It's energy. The Chinese have a similar word, they call it qi, and it's about, and they do qigong or tai chi, the same thing as pranayama, and they have what is called nadis in the yoga system. We have 72,000 nadis in our body, and the Chinese have the same thing. They call it meridians. So by essentially they go to these meridian points, and they do give a little pressure there. But basically, it's breathing too. You know, when you're really sick, they give you this meridian acupuncture treatment or acupressure. But for normal work, if you're not sick, we should do little meditation, we do yoga postures, or we do Tai Chi. They're all good. So these are the advantages that researchers and doctors have found. Parasympathetic response. What this is, you know, when we are at ease, we're calm. Normally we are always worried. What happened? What's happening to COVID? What's happening to the government? Why is there more taxes? Why so much traffic? Will I get my train? Will I get my bus? My email has not come. So we always what is called in sympathetic mode, always anxious. This is parasympathetic mode, means to be relaxed. Okay, so by practicing slow breathing and the other things of yoga, we can be in this parasympathetic response mode that keeps our body healthy. There are other advantages for athletes, people who want to win races, swimming or running or jumping or playing, football, hockey, cricket. Athletics, by breathing slowly, they've done a lot of research to show that there's advantage to doing this thing. Dental issues. Dentists have found that by breathing through the mouth, we get a lot of problems because germs come in the mouth, for one thing. Germs come on the tongue and germs come in our teeth. But the most serious issue is normally our tongue has to be on the top of our palate. But when we breathe through the mouth, the tongue goes down. And then the top of the palate becomes small, the teeth get crowded, and then you've got to have dentures and all these other problems. Now, diaphragm. So when we breathe through very slowly, our diaphragm, the diaphragm is the part that separates, it's a muscle. It separates the lungs from the stomach. You know, a lot of us have stomach problems, indigestion or diarrhea or IBS and these other things, because our stomach diaphragm is not strong. And if it is strong, by breathing, you know, there's a bellows breath. It is called Bastrika in Sanskrit. Bastrika, it is like this. Take a slow breath into that makes the diaphragm stronger, and it pushes the stomach down and pushes the lungs up. It makes the lungs stronger and the stomach stronger. So these are the physical benefits. Now, these are more the cellular benefits. At the cell level also, there are lots of benefits. So there is a doctor, Siddha doctor in Tamil Nadu. He's got his own company that makes certain types of Siddha Ayurvedic type drugs. And in what they've done, they got people to practice like chanting mantras, and they did the saliva test. They test the saliva instead of the blood. Some people do blood testing, and that is fine. But some people also, they just test the saliva. And the saliva has some markers like antibodies or some other markers that can suppress COVID. So they did they did a sample test first. Then they made these people do mantras, and they took the test again, and they found that in their saliva, after doing the mantras, they had some suppressors that could overcome COVID, the same things that are in the vaccine. In the vaccine, there are about 20 or 30 different antibodies and different proteins and genes to overcome COVID. But by doing mantras, our body can produce those same things. And that is what these ancient gurus, they found out that our body can produce everything to make ourselves healthy. We don't need external medicines. We can have them. If we are really very serious, take medicines. If you're very serious, have an operation. But if we are just normal, our body can produce everything to keep us healthy. We just have to remove the toxins from our body and our body can stay healthy. How do we remove the toxins? By yoga, by meditation, by deep, slow breathing, by laughter, okay, by chanting, by just singing. All of these things help our body. So this is the next thing here, oxygen, O2, and CO2 is carbon dioxide. See, a lot of people, a lot of us, we are always worried and we are breathing to the top of our neck, right only in the top of our lungs, not deep down. So when we are breathing in the top, we are worried. What happened? What happened? I'll miss my bus. Oh, what happened? My daughter's not come home, or my son ran away, got has some other problem. So we are breathing only in the top of our lungs. So we don't have enough oxygen transferred into our blood. And some of us may have enough oxygen, but it just stays in the blood. We got to have a good balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And that happens if we do slow breathing. Then when we do slow breathing, the carbon dioxide, it releases the oxygen into the body. Otherwise, it just stays in the blood. So we need that balance. And that balance comes when we do slow breathing, slow inhalation, slow exhalation. The next line, NO, is nitric oxide. And about 5 years ago, no, maybe 10 years ago, there were 4 people, one of them Americans and the other were European researchers. They got the Nobel Prize for this thing called NO, nitric oxide. When we breathe slowly, right here in our nostrils, this thing gets formed, nitric oxide, and it goes into our bloodstream and opens it up. So people who have high blood pressure, they can solve that problem by slow breathing, because they'll create nitric oxide in the nasal passage, and that opens up the blood vessels. So then there's less pressure. It cleans up the blood vessels. It also cleans up our lymph system, all the waste matter that needs to go into the liver, we have to get rid of. It opens up all those arteries, all of those pipes, and allows free flow of waste matter to get rid of it, and blood and oxygen to go to all the parts of the body. And this is done without injections or without blood samples. They just test the saliva. So these are Indian researchers are doing it. So they are doing some good work in India now. So we go to now. With that, I will just stop it. We can come back here if we have time. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and we'll do some little. We'll do some laughter. Laughter is the best thing first. Okay. So everybody relax. Take a deep breath, and we're going to just do 3. Take a deep breath and laugh as long as you want. Then we'll stop. Laugh again. So we'll do this 3 times. Okay. Everybody, take a deep breath. Laugh. I want to hear it. So turn on your. Can you unmute yourself? I want to hear you laughing. Okay. Everybody, okay, laugh. Very good. Now the noise, the laughter should not just come from here. It should come from the belly. Real laughter. One more time. One more time. Very good. When you're at home alone, just laugh. And if somebody says, "What are you laughing for?" you tell them, "Lawrence told you a joke and you thought about it. That's why you're laughing." Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed of this. It's a very good thing. And they'll see you laughing. They'll laugh. It'll improve their health and your health. Okay? Laughter is very good. Well, the main thing is right here. You see this diaphragm here? Right here, there's a diaphragm. Okay? That gets exercised, and it's very important. It becomes stronger. Most of us, we sit down like this with our shoulders in front, and we put pressure on our lungs and pressure on our stomach. We should put our shoulders back, raise our lungs up, and then our stomach goes down and the lungs go up. That is it's a very simple thing, but that will improve your breathing and it'll improve your digestion. So that's a very good thing to do, okay? So slow breathing, and we will do that during the meditation. So the first thing is laughter. The other advantage of laughter is it stimulates the thyroid gland right here. So it's a very good thing for that. And there's a pratiloma. It's a breathing type of an exercise where you hold your breath and you close your eyes and you breathe slowly with the humming sound. If we have time, we'll do that. If not, we'll keep it for next time. But the next thing I would like to do, because this in the Siddha tradition is a very important, they do a lot of mantras. What happens with the mantras is these people have developed this over the years, and now research is finding that it is good, because with the mantras, the tongue moves in a certain way based on the mantra, and that creates a certain kind of saliva that can overcome cancer, it can overcome COVID, it can overcome lots of diseases. So the mantras are very important. Now, we will do our mantra, like we'll sing this, Om, okay? And it is Sidney Poitier's version of it, Om. So all of us can say Om, or just let's just do Om chanting, okay? So 1, 2, 3. We'll do it three times. Take a deep breath and let's do it loud. It should come from deep down in our stomach, not just here. One more time. Very good. Very good, very good. Okay, let's just try one breathing practice. There are many, many, many different breathing practices, but let's try this thing called Bastrika. We take a deep breath, shake inside. So inhale and out like that. So 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Out. Exhale. With force. Inhale. One more time. Very good. So Trusha, I'm sure Trusha does this exercise with y'all. That's a very good exercise. Practice that yourselves. So right now we can do some. Yes. Any questions? Yeah, you have to turn out.
Sir, what about from nose? Inhale from nose and take out from mouth.
Yes, that is also good.
Yeah,
that is good.
We liked it very much, Lawrence sir. We liked it very much.
Very good, very good.
Let us do laughter and laughter.
Yes. You
Thank
like
you
to
so
do,
much. Yes.
you want to do laughter one more time. Laughter is really the best.
Best therapy. Laughter
That
is the best therapy, correct.
right. We can do, let's do a sound healing bath first. And if there's time, we can do some laughter later on. Is that okay?
Sir, what about chanting? Some chant that Miomi, something, some Buddha. Buddha chanting. Some our building many are doing.
That is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
We can do that too, but I would like to do some sound healing right now. If we have time, we can do that.
Yes, sir, excuse me, sir. You talked about the blood pressure.
Yes.
About the holding of the nostril, the upper part of the nostril.
That is a different exercise. If what you can do is, it is called Anulom Vilom, I think that is the name, where you breathe, you hold your nostrils like that, you close your ears and you hold your nostril like this. So you breathe in, and when you breathe out, you make some sound in your throat. Or you can close your eyes also if you like. Close your nose a little bit. Take a deep breath. When you breathe out slowly. This is called humming bee. Humming bee.
Close the ear.
You can, if you close the ear, then the vibration goes double, so you get more double benefit. You don't have to close the ear, but if you close, you get double benefit because the sound now vibrates inside the skull.
And just close the nose.
Yes, close the nose a little bit, not fully, just a little bit. So take a deep breath, but when you're breathing out through the nose, breathe through the nose and make the sound. So the sound here, it causes a vibration. It's good for the...
You have to breathe in, no?
Breathe in through the nose and breathe out also through the nose, slowly, very, very, very long. So take a deep breath fast if you want. As long as you can. Out breath is slow. It should be very slow and very long.
Then we can close ear also together, no?
If you close the ear, it's even better. So to start with, just practice closing the nose. And once you're comfortable, then close your eyes and the nose and the ears.
And make a sound.
Ears, you'll hear the thing vibrating inside your skull.
Revives our vein, no?
That is for it helps in blood pressure, no? It helps in blood pressure.
It helps in the blood pressure because it creates this thing called nitric oxide right here. And nitric oxide opens up the nasal passage. When it opens the nasal passage, it opens up all of the veins and the arteries too. Okay, you have to do it for a long time for that to happen, to see the benefit. If you do it once and then don't do it again, you won't get a benefit. You do it every day for about
3 times.
Every day for 10 minutes, yes.
3 times. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good.
Very nice.
So now let us just do some sound healing, a sound bath. If you want to lie down, you can lie down. If you want to sit up, but make sure your shoulders are back. And make sure you take a slow breath. Inhale slowly for about 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold for a little while, and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale a little longer than the inhale. So 5, count to 5 or so for inhale, up to 7 for exhale. Very, very slowly. Don't do this. This means you're tense. If you're relaxed, it's slow breathing. That will encourage nitric oxide to develop in your nose. Okay, so let's all relax in a calm position and take a deep breath. Let me know if you can hear the bowl. Thank you. So if you want to close your eyes, that's fine. Take a deep, slow breath. And I've got 7 bowls, so these are the 7 chakras. So feel the sound coming first from the root chakra right at the bottom of our tailbone, at the backbone, the tail. Feel that breath, the sound coming there, the vibration there. It is a note of C, like sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Take a deep, slow breath. And a deep out breath. Feel these vibrations going into every cell of your body.
ચેકબુક માટે પેલું જે આગળનું કાગળ હોય ને ફાડી લોકો નાખવું પડશે ચેકબુક લાસ્ટ ચેકબુક જે એ હોય ને એવું લખવું. This bowl is the third eye. It is the eye for manifesting and for your wishes, whatever wish you have, whatever intention you have for this session, put that in your mind with this sound. And this is the Crown Chakra. Remember to take a deep, very slow
some problem, then that vibration is not proper, then it listens to these vibrations coming from the bowl and it gets tunes to this correct vibration coming from the bowl, and it becomes harmonious and healthy. So feel these vibrations going through every organ, every cell, and making them healthy, making them happy. Very strong. That's the best way to fight COVID, by having strong lungs. stomach and the lungs. Feel it getting stronger. The stronger it is, the more it can make your lungs work easily to take a lot of breath, a lot of air. vibrations going into any part of the body that needs healing. It could be a stomach, it could be a bone. Let's continue for 1 or 2 more breaths. Deep, slow breath. And let's slowly come out of this meditation. Take one last breath as deep as you can and slowly let it out. Very slowly. Feel your lungs have grown a little bit. If you want to stretch your fingers, move your toes, and gradually open your eyes and come back and join all of us here. If you want to unmute yourself, you can. And if you want to say something, share your experience with the rest of us, please feel free to say how you felt, if you have something you want to share.
Feeling very relaxing and light and peace of mind.
Yes.
I do 10 times.
Yes, that is a good. Trusha does that. That's a good thing to do.
Thank you so much. Very nice.
Very good.
Yeah. You're ringing bell with the big steel plate. You're ringing from where? The tongue. Steel plate? Is it round steel? Can you show us? Oh, it's a copper.
It's made of copper and tin.
Copper.
And
okay.
7 of them. Can you see the rest?
Different noise comes.
Right. They are different bowls because different sound. Because in our body we have vibrations, different vibrations. It can. That's why it covers all of the different vibrations for the body. In the brain, our brain has different vibrations too. You know, when we are awake now, we are vibrating at like 40 cycles. When we go to sleep, it is 2 cycles. It goes down. So different cycles. So
how many times you do, sir, daily? How many times you do it?
I do it about 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day for myself. But I prefer to go to somebody else and let them give me a sound bath.
Good. Very nice.
I can relax and they can give me the treatment.
Very nice.
Yes.
Relax. Yeah.
Yeah, what this sound bowl does, it helps your meditation. It helps the breathing. But if you just do breathing, that is good enough. You just do laughter and chanting, that's good enough. But this, it helps in addition to those things. This is one more addition.
Chanting any mantra, no? Chanting.
Any mantras, yes. Now there are some mantras, like the Siddha mantras, I don't know all of them. They have more power because these Siddha people, Tamil Nadu, they have developed more advanced mantras. But even if you just say Om, Om is a universal sound, it's very good.
Om, yeah.
Yes.
Om, yeah. Longer time.
Keep it, take a deep breath and then Om.
There are so many mantras because he sings.
Doing eye meditation.
Lawrence, which is preferable, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose, or breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth?
Avoid the mouth unless you're just doing it as an exercise, but avoid mouth breathing at all. It's always through the nose.
Okay. In and out.
Yes, in and out, and very, very, very slow. The slower, the longer you can keep the breath, inhale and exhale, the more the lungs become stronger.
Okay.
The diaphragm becomes stronger, and it pushes the stomach down. See, when the stomach comes up, then we get restricted here. Then we have all stomach problems and breathing problems. So slow, that makes the diaphragm stronger too.
Thank you.
Yes.